All right, Joe, good to see you again here. Look, we talked about some of the rotation that's happening in the market. We talked about high flyers and momentum names getting rotated out of in favor of some of the consumer facing names. We've actually talked about this in the past, most notably with something like Dollar General, which we've covered before. But now we've got some new ideas here that we're seeing on this rotation. The first one that I have here is ticker GIS. General Mills. Looking at the chart here, sure looks like this thing has bottomed and started to curl up off of the bottom. We are above the 20-day and the 50-day moving average, and it sure looks like we're making a move towards that 200-day. What do you think here about General Mills?
Well, I think with the amount of serial sellers that you're starting to see or that you're seeing in a lot of these really high-flying names, I thought maybe we ought to take a look at some of the serial sellers that actually do sell cereal.
I see
So
what you
here
did
we are.
there.
So we start here with General Mills, and one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to some of these consumer-facing names that these traders and investors are gravitating towards is they're looking for cash-generating, dividend-paying stocks. They want something to hedge against inflation while the market, goes through rotation. And this is one such name that does pay dividends. It's got great cash flow. You see them in the grocery store every time that you go there. So this is one company that's getting a lot of attention right now as this market rotates from the high-flying tech names into some of these more consumer-facing names, and that is going to be some of these staples.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at this chart, I actually really like this chart. I think if we can get back above that 200-day, you have the potential for another upside run here. So definitely one to keep an eye on or to keep on your watch list here. Keep an eye on it. One of the other consumer-facing areas that is getting some attention now is healthcare. And actually, we had UNH report earnings today. It's going to be July 16th at the time of this recording. And it actually looked like they had a pretty good report. They reported better margins, they had better guidance, but they have weak growth quality. And on top of that, the revenue was essentially flat. Profitability, cash flow, and full year guidance improved. So we had kind of a mixed report here with UNH. I think the big takeaway for me is this thing gapped up big and almost gave everything back here today. So
Yeah.
this too, also very, very much worth watching. Just looking at where the chart is right now, we're sitting right above the 20-day, and we are sitting above that 500-day. Basically, the area I think we need to hold here is 415, and we're at 424 right now. This thing was above 460 earlier today on the back of its earnings. So just kind of a wild move here, kind of an ugly looking candle. What do you think here on healthcare, whether it's UNH or any other stock?
There are some healthcare names that I do like, particularly in the medical device field. UNH, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it is moving up more on the guidance being raised above estimates. So
Mhm.
they're expecting better revenue. This is on a path to recovery. I'm sure Berkshire Hathaway's looking at this and going, huh, how about that? But at the same time, this also has a potential gap that could fill as soon as we get into the almost up to 500 there. I think just shy of
Yep.
500, around 490. There's a gap that would take us up to about 580. So if we do hold these levels here and start to trade back up to where we were at the beginning of the day, then we're getting pretty close to a potential gap fill, and that might bode well for more continued upside in this particular healthcare name. Names that I do like when it comes to healthcare, though, they're going to be more, like I said, the medical device names. So Medtronics, which is MDT,
Mhm.
really like that one.
And actually, just kind of looking at this chart too, this
Yeah.
one also very, very beaten down. Sure looks like it
Mhm.
put in a bottom near 74. We've traded back up off of that bottom, and in the process, we've recaptured the 50 and we've recaptured the 20. And so we really kind of want to see it hold around this area, right?
Better. So yeah, we would want to see that moving average hold up for now, but it is facing some resistance from that consolidation earlier in the year. I think that's the big question mark right now is do we have enough, can we get enough volume to move through all that consolidation? So that would be my concern with MDT. Another company that I like that's in the pharmaceutical space, Merck, ticker MRK. And then, of course, if you're looking for more of a company that's in the dental supply field, you have X-Ray, which is one that I believe you're very much a fan of.
Yeah, I do like X-Ray here. I personally think that this has bottomed. I actually think that this can be a $50 stock. It also pays a dividend. So looking at the chart here, feeling like it has kind of bottomed right around 10, maybe between 9 and 10 bucks. Now we've started to curl up. Tell you what, the last couple of weeks have been great for the stock. It's been moving up against a market that's kind of been trading sideways or even moving down. And now it certainly looks to me like we have a date with maybe 1475 or 15 here. A breakout above that really makes this interesting. We're going to challenge that 500-day moving average. And then we also have this consolidation area that was a little bit higher. It looks like about between 15 and 17. That to me, I think would be the next area for us to clear here. Again, one of the things I really like about X-Ray is that it pays a dividend, so I can afford to wait this out and still get paid in the meantime.
Yeah, so you have all these healthcare names that are going to getting a lot of attention right now. You do have some of the consumer staple names. I only mentioned General Mills, but if you're looking for some other names to consider, you could look at Kraft Heinz. You could look at Kimberly-Clark, Tyson Foods, or even Clorox. A lot of these names they do pay a dividend. They generate cash. These are the ones that are getting a lot of attention. So these are the sectors that I think we would want to focus on for the time being.
Okay, good stuff there. Keep your eye on that rotation. The trend is your friend. We think right now consumer staples and healthcare names might be pretty good. Joe, thanks very much. We'll see what tomorrow brings, and I'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Take care.